sitting as I'm sitting, I can look out of the window and there's a leaf on that rose bush just gently moving up and down with the breeze. I watch that. I hear the traffic on the road, and I become aware of all the movement of our little town around us, all the curiosity with which people are talking, and all the movement of all the minds. It's all held in this presence, isn't it? This totally forgiving awareness, which itself is still. There's no condemnation, except recognition that this is freedom and that is not. And hence arise all the problems of the world. And quite apart from being nice for ourselves to be free, and then we begin to feel, well, isn't this my responsibility to give freedom to everybody else? What about those animals in the market? Being herded into lorries and sent here, there and everywhere to their death. How about keeping them in freedom? Never mind the people. This little word work comes in, you see. This is the work. To raise the consciousness. And once you start doing that, you soon forget about yourself. What's in it for me? I used to wonder why it was that when Jesus was saying goodbye to his disciples, he said, "Peace I give unto you. My peace I give unto you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." And I used to say to myself as a young man, well, why peace? Why didn't he give them something useful? You know, what use is peace? Of course, now I realise that peace is sort of just the beginning of this total provision, which flows from it, you see. That silent standing, as we were this morning, is the precondition, you see, of this, of prayer. That is prayer, you see. Because there's then no impediment to this flow of providence. And whereas you and I can just hold one or two little things in mind, that is all merciful. It's all containing, isn't it? Nothing's missed out. Not the worms in the ground or the people or anything. It's every little flower and blade of grass is blessed by it. It's a nice word, blessing, isn't it? That's what it is. It's blessing. We say God bless you, but actually to see it in practice is one step better, isn't it? What's happened to curiosity? It's rather lost its place, isn't it? Doesn't seem to matter very much. That reminds me, Lodewijk, of another very helpful principle of spiritual work. If it takes effort, it's wrong. To which I'll add, if it's complicated, it's wrong. It's utterly simple, isn't it? And easy, effortless. There's another reason why feet on the ground is important, because the problem really is nearly always in the mind and the movement of the mind. Now, to help to steady this down, that's why it's useful to keep the body still. This is why in meditation you usually start off by making the body comfortable, sitting in a way that the body's supported and can sit still. That's why cross-legged, if you can do it, is such a good thing, because it holds you in a very steady, still position. Everybody recognises, don't they, that it's a good idea to switch the computer off for half an hour or an hour before we go to sleep. Why? Because the mind is very agitated, isn't it, with the vibrations, and it needs time to settle down before you sleep. It's all connected, isn't it? Well, meditation is very similar. It's been described as instead of falling asleep, we just fall awake, but it's the same process. Yes, yeah. Indeed. Yeah. Yes. I know another lovely man who came to me some months ago to meditate, and of course he's problems like a lot of people have with drugs and alcohol. It's just this, he's full of enthusiasm, and then he slips away. Time passes, and then he comes. I hear from him again, but it's quite usual, dear. What can you do? There are various things that help. If anybody had the absolute answer. It's said that the most important requirement on this path is determination. You've got to want it. And often people want it a bit, but not enough. So they'll do a bit, and when something else comes along, they'll miss their practice, and then they'll miss another practice, and you find yourself slipping. Well, good company is a is a support, Andrew. When I learned to meditate, it was quite a strong discipline. I had to go down. Had my first farm here in Bakewell. It was very difficult for me to leave the farm, and I had to go to London. I had to attend regularly. We had groups there, and not only was it a huge expense, it was terrible leaving the animals, and especially when in times of haymaking, when they were giving birth and that. But it was a great trial for me. But I recognise now how useful it was, helping me to put the work first. Yes, that was the way it was put to me. Put the work first. But there again, you need determination to do that, don't you? But the more you can see it as, or the more perhaps you long for an answer. You long for what the world cannot provide, and you recognise that this way is a way to finding that heart's desire, that which you long for more than anything else. Of course, that helps, doesn't it? That gives you the motive to work for it. If you can see the purpose. To begin with, people just tend to have a personal purpose. They just want a bit of peace or something. Well, that's all right. We start with what we've got. Maybe this last few days has opened it up for you. You see the scale of the work and the importance of it, which may help encourage you to keep it up. It applies to all of us. I find it encouraging myself that you should come here and support me, and I feel supported by it and encouraged. I'm sure Phil does too. Let's consider what faith is. Now, for most of our lives, we work with ideas in the mind. It's a good idea to meditate because it helps other people, maybe. Always a good idea to meditate because it slows your heartbeat down or something. But do you see, what is it that enables us to sit here in stillness and feel something we can't describe, but which is so undeniably right? It's not ordinary knowledge, is it? Now this is higher knowledge. The knowledge, like everything else, has levels of consciousness. There's lower knowledge, there's higher knowledge. And the highest knowledge is faith. Faith is the evidence of things not seen. Now, how does faith strengthen? By putting it into practice. It is it's a cloud of unknowing. We don't know where we're going. So it's a journey into the unknown. Unknown in the sense that you can box it in and analyze it. You can't. It's a journey into the infinite, beyond knowing. Where is the end of freedom? Where is the end of love? No. But my word, it's certain sure, isn't it? There's a surety once you get the hang of what faith is all about, which makes knowledge almost laughable. I love that. Lodewijk and I are good at quoting the Bible, aren't we? We've got an answer to everything. But no, see, the wisdom of man is foolishness to God. And it is, isn't it? The wisdom of man is foolishness to God. Our little knowing, our matchbox knowledge, compared to the grandeur, the majesty of faith. That's why we're called to, as best we're able, live by faith, you see. Faith is what keeps, I suppose, keeps us practicing, plodding up the hill to practice every day.